All right, once I get the front and the top of the dryer off, clearly it was a matter of the belt broken. The belt was sitting here in the bottom tray. So you can find a belt online. Make sure you get the right size, the right part. This particular belt is about 79 inches by about a 1/4 inch. Now it's just a matter of getting the belt, the new belt in place around the drum and running it under the tensioner here. This is a belt tensioner, and then around the spindle here for the motor. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. All right, the belt is written around the drum, about a little more than a third of the way back, it looks like. Now it's going to be run under the tensioner here and around this spindle. Alright, so here's the idler pulley removed from the old dryer unit, and it's not really a pulley. Newer ones have pulleys, this one doesn't. And you're also going to see there's a lot of dust here, rubber dust from the wear of the old belt. What's interesting about this is you'd say, well, it looks like it's welded. How do you get the new belt around this portion here such that it will work? It's a very interesting arrangement. How it works here is you actually double the belt back over itself and then underneath this little semicircular portion. So let me show you. So here with the belt around the drum, the new belt, the idea is to double the belt back over itself and then to loop it underneath and this tensioner. And then it'll be around the shaft right here, and the belt does not have to, you can't really get it through here, so it's doubled up over itself. So let me see if I can show you here what we're trying to do. Now this tensioner piece, it actually, there's some slots in the bottom shell of the dryer that you gotta insert the tab into. There's some little forks that will grab, and then this actually has some flex in it, and you're going to need to flex it up because the belt needs to get looped through the opening and then around the spindle here, the shaft. So I'm going to see if I can set the camera down. I'm not going to have the best angle here, but to try to demonstrate this. So the belt goes over and then through. Okay, going to need to push against the resistance of the tensioner and then loop the belt around the spindle, and that's what looks like we got it there. Okay, so you're going to be pushing this inward. The belt, it loops through here around the shaft and then back through. Make sure it's seated underneath this semicircular piece. There's a track there. You want to make sure there's no opportunity for it to get frayed by rubbing against raw metal. There's a track that it should be following. So let's see how this goes. We have it here. Now this is a thin belt. It's a 1/4 inch, and there are grooves. The grooves should be on the inside track. The smooth part of the belt is on the outside. So the grooves are what come into contact with the shaft, and the grooves are also facing inward towards the drum itself. Now as I reattach the front, the drum is going to be pushed back up into its position, which is going to create additional tension here, and it's going to ensure that it's snug such that when the motor spins, it spins the drum, causing the clothes to tumble, and the drawing action to occur. And with the new belt, you're going to want to make sure it's evenly seated and spaced along the drum. You might be able to see the wear marks from the many cycles it's gone through before with belts in place. This particular model, it does not look like the belt is in the center. It's maybe, towards the front third of the dryer drum itself. You want to make sure that it doesn't snag on any of the nuts. Here are these nut heads, screw heads around the dryer itself. Make sure there's nothing to interfere with the path. Now I had set the front panel on the top of the unit, since this is a wall-mounted unit, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that back down, being very careful because there are some electronics here. Now naturally, make sure the thing is unplugged first, which it is. Here at the bottom, there are a couple of hooks that the corresponding hooks will get seated into. And then at the top, we're going to go ahead and reattach, the nuts from inside. Be very careful not to put any tension on the wiring harnesses at the top. You might have to center the drum as well. There we go. Okay. Now make sure, again, that it's seated evenly, the drum, all the way around. There's kind of like a felt around the circular piece. You want to make sure that it's centered in there. And then check again the location of the belt. You should see the wear marks from the previous belt or belts. Alright, so you got the one hex head screw on the upper left, another one on the upper right behind all this wiring. I'll tell you what, you'll drop them inside the dryer shell multiple times and curse yourself, so just be wary of that. But that's part of reassembly. If you disconnect any of the clips here for the wiring, go ahead and reconnect them here. Make sure everything is out of the way so you can replace the lid. Again, ensure that the unit is unplugged before you start tampering with it for your own safety. Again, ensure that the belt is flat against the drum, it's tight, it's not twisted, there's no obstructions to its path before you put the lid on. Looking at your lid, you'll know which side is the back because that's the one that's got the multiple holes drilled in it. Okay, looks like we've got 4 holes for the hex head screws and another couple of holes here. So this portion goes in the back. When you have the lid in position, there's a lip along the inside. Notice there are a couple of clips at the front left and right corners. You need to bring the lid outside and in front of, and then pull it backwards, slide it backwards to engage it under those 2 clips. Very easy enough. What you're going to do is engage it from the front, under the clips, back. It should have a tight, close gap here in the front. And the back as well. Getting it off was a little bit more difficult. You have to lift up the back first and then slide it forward, because in the back there are a couple of cutouts that sit around some hex head screws that kind of locks it in place. So when you're taking it off, lift it upward in the back and then slide it forward in the front. That should help you out there. And if you want to test your work, go ahead and plug the unit back in, which I just did. You can, with the door open, press the start button, but you'll need to also engage the door switch. So if I can do both here while holding the camera, let me enlist the help of my ladder. All right, push in that switch, and voila, there you go, spinning dryer once again. And we got some tight quarters here working to get those hex head screws in again. There's 4 of them. So I'll use my tight quarters tools to get that job done. Fortunately enough, I can just get a ratchet with a reducer in place here. Kind of working blindly, but we're on the home stretch. Ain't nothing stopping me now. And my head is wedged under the ceiling here. Alright, that's 2 of 4. 2 more to go. I'll hand tighten as best I can. Okay, I think we're good to go. All right, done deal.